Now, the next thing we're going to do is the ocean floor. Now, see that ocean floor? See those black lines there? That's all we're going to do. We're going to put some black lines in first. There we go. See how pretty that is? Now we got that part done. Now, let's go and take a flat brush, maybe just a flat sable brush, chiseled edge, okay? And just pick up some of your black. Now you can make your own black, like I said, with the brown, the ultramarine blue, and the burnt umber. Make your own blue, and even add a little bit of red to it. I'm just going to go in with my black, a little bit of red, blue, and my little bit of burnt umber. Okay, so now I'm going to put my lines on there. So I'm just going to make some lines like this. Just make them, stagger them all over the place. Good. Just a few lines for the bottom of the ocean floor. Some bumps and humps. There we go. Good. We're going to let that dry. This is not going to be wet on wet. We're just going to let those lines dry. Okay. That's all you need down here. Just a few lines for our ocean floor. Good. Just let that dry now. Now I'm just going to glaze the bottom of the canvas here. And how we do that is we take some watery paint, blue paint mixed with some water, and you just, so it's pretty watery. You can see it's dripping. And then you just take it and put it on here. Now see, when you do that, you can still see your black lines. You can see whatever's underneath it, but yet you're starting to put on some color. See, it's transparent and doesn't do any harm to what's underneath. All we're doing is putting on a glaze. See? Just to glaze. It's nice and wet. And when we get that on there, we're going to put some more on. So let's let that one dry, and then we'll put another coat of a glaze on there. Good. You can even go up into your other painting. It's okay. It's okay to do that too. See? No harm done. Alright, now let that one dry, and then we'll come back and we'll do it. I'm sorry, we won't come back. We're going to stay here. So we're going to do another coat. Now, this time, when you're adding your second coat, make sure your first coat is dry, and add a little bit more blue to your water, and a little tiny bit of red to purple it up a small bit, okay? Now, we'll put on another coat, and that will be a little darker because you added a bit more paint to your water. So as long as you can see through it, you're making a glaze, okay? See how it gets darker and darker as you put on more coats of the glaze. Make sure that each time you put on a new coat, that the other one that you did is dry. Okay, so we let this one dry. You can use a hair dryer if you want to speed it up. And there was another coat. Good. So there we go. Okay, we're going to darken it up again. So I'm putting on some more. And what I did was I added more blue to my water. So each time you want to make it darker, just keep adding more blue to your water. Just make sure that it's nice and thin. And a little tiny bit more red so we can keep that little purplish look on the go. And so do as many coats as you want until you get the bluish color, purplish color that you want for under the water. As long as you can still see your strokes, those black strokes, then you can put on as many coats as you want, okay? And so we'll keep doing that. That's going to be my final coat here. But now if you want to create some depth, you'll do a final coat, and then we will darken the area up here so that we can make it look like the water is receding. And I'll show you how to do that. Now you have your final coat on, so now you want to add some depth. And here's what we're going to do. So as you can see in this painting, see how the depth See, it's lighter in the front, and then it goes darker in behind. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take the watery paint that we have. We're going to add more blue and more red to get a purpley look. It's a purpley look to it, and it's thicker now, not quite as watery. So we're going to use that after, and we're going to darken that up back here. See, you still can see you can still see your black lines here. Okay, good. So you make that as dark as you want. Dark as you want. Get it nice and dark in the back here. And you can go with the shape of the water. Okay, see, that's nice and dark. And then when you get that done, just take your brush and clean it up really good, and then just bring this together. There we go. So it's lighter in the front, and as it goes back it gets darker, which creates depth. Good. Now I just drew out my shark that we're going to put on there. I drew it on a piece of paper so I can get the proportions correct. And if you have a hard time drawing a shark, just print off something off the internet, a picture of a shark, and just go by that, or trace it if you have to. So then when you get it drawn on your paper, because there's no sense trying it on your canvas, because if you fool up, then you're stuck with it, or you got to repaint your whole canvas. So like in one of my other videos, I did some carbon paper. This is the carbon paper, okay? Buy it at the near stores. So I took that and taped it on, and I put my carbon paper underneath here, and then I just traced the outline with my pen. And you might have to push a little bit hard, as long as it's not stretch canvas. Stretch canvas, you gotta be careful you don't tear it. So now you have your shark on there. So now you can start painting the shark. Now the shark is a little big because I want this so you can see it. And so first of all, let's paint a little bit of a dark blue on top of the shark. So just get some dark blue paint. You can make some dark blue by adding some blue and red and make it really dark blue, purplish color. Let's get this started here now. So just use ultramarine blue and a little bit of red. Get it nice and dark. I just want to and I only have well, this one's a filbert brush, which is good, and it's sable. And I'm just going to put some paint on this little guy. Could be girl. Who knows? Alright. So, go down by the fin. There we go. And just put the dark blue on the body. Good. Good, good. Get in the fins here. Get this done first. Get the body done first, one little piece at a time. Nice. And nice and dark down here. I'm going to work on that in a minute. So I'm just going to fill in the body part here. Your lines are there to help you keep your paint in the right places. Let's see if I'm keeping the paint in the right place now. Sometimes it gets confusing, so you're not the only one. It can get a little confusing. Let's get this done. Alright, stay inside the lines. That's what they told us when we were going to school, when we were little kids. Stay inside the lines. Here we go. Here we go. Now if you lose the eye, you can always put it back in. But there's the eye. Good. So just get that on there. That's a good start. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of black to my blue just to darken it up for the tail and for the fins, just so I can separate them so I'll know where they are, because I don't want them to disappear on me. So just go ahead and put in your fin. It's because they're a different color now than the body, then you'll know where they are. You'll know where they begin, where they end, and all that good stuff. So you just get that on there. And there's the other fin here somewhere. Yep, right here. Like I said, it could get a little confusing if you lose your lines. You really need to have a good drawing to get a good painting. So make sure that you work on your drawing and get that done first. And then you can trace it onto your, use my paper and carbon paper method. Alright, there we go. And what else do we need to do? We have another fin over here. We'll just put a little bit dark on there just to find out where it is. Good. Good, good. Now, so, and a little bit of dark in the mouth. So all we have to do is get a smaller brush, just a nice little tiny little brush, and put the dark blue in the mouth. Just line the mouth. Let's see. Let's just put a dark line where the mouth is so we'll see it. Okay. That brush wasn't quite thin enough. That's okay, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Now, what we'll do next is we'll do the body underneath. That's what we'll do next. So we'll take some, let's see, underneath we'll have a lighter body, and we will put some blue, ultramarine blue, and some white. Brighten it up, nice and bright. Okay, even if you have to move away somewhere else, if you can't get it really bright, just move away from the paint so that you get too much paint and you can't seem to get it light. Just move around until you get the color you're looking for, the lighter color. Okay, that's good. So then you put that on the body. I will be doing some adjustments and everything, so because the light is shining down on top of this little guy, so we have to make some highlights and stuff. Now, let's go down around here, fill in the body. Good. As long as you get that shape. Getting the shapes. It's only paint and brush you're using, so you need to get those shapes. And to get those shapes, you need to paint 3 values. We have our first values on now. We're putting on 2 more. Let's get that around the nose. Down around here. Good. Good. Let's see what else we need to do. We'll come up here, but that's where his fins are, but we'll come up here for now. Okay, and look at some reference photos of sharks so you can get to colors, the proper colors, or, you know, at least where some of the lines go, and where the colors go and how it looks. Straighten up your lines if they're crooked. I think that's fine. All right. Now let's put some really dark blue, well, almost black, because I would say a little bit of blue and black, more black than blue, on your liner brush, small liner brush. The other brush I use is a little too big, so make sure your brush is really tiny, because you want to do the eye, which is black, so fill that in there. And we will do the fins, and we will do, let's see, what can we do now? Black. I'm just trying to find the black spots. I don't see anything there right now. Okay, so we'll go on to the next step. So the next step is to get a bit of light blue that you were using for the body, but a little darker, just a little bit darker, because we're going to go inside the mouth. So go inside the mouth, because that's where the teeth are. Get a little bit of color in here, just because we'll probably darken it up a little bit, you know, because if that's where the teeth are, and you want to see the teeth, then you're going to need a darker color underneath the teeth, aren't we? There we go. There we go. So let's say the teeth are here, and that there is part of the body here. Fill that in. And I think I need to put that a bit wider for the teeth. So let's widen that up a little bit here. Yeah, let's widen it up. I think it looks better. Looks like a lipstick on. Okay, fine and dandy. So the next step is, why don't we do some dry brushing? I'll make sure you can see this. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't blur on you. Oh, it looks like it's clear there now. Put a bit of white on your small flat brush, a really small flat brush, and a bit of white and the tiniest bit of blue, and wipe it off in your tissue. Let's just do some dry brushing. So we'll go on the top of this fin here and scratch on a white line on the very tip of the fin. Just scrub it on, because you barely got any paint on your brush there now. So every time you put paint on, wipe it off so it's not too much. And then we'll get the highlight here on the tail. And we have a dark value, and now we're going into medium. And then we're going to put on a really nice little bit of light up here, because that's where the, so you go pure white this time, and you can see the light shining down on the tail. Oh, sorry, the fin. Good. Now where else would that light be shining? How about a little bit of blue onto your white, just to get it started for our second value. And maybe there's some on the tip of his nose. Okay, so put some on on that line that you made. Scrape it on. Scrape it on. Make sure your brush is nice and small. See, my brush might be a little too big for this. Although it's a small flat brush, but I'd like to have it a little smaller. And a little bit of a light blue. Again, wipe it off. Don't forget to wipe it off, because we're dry brushing right now. We're just trying to get a second value. Scrub it on. Scrub it on the top and bring it down into the body, just to give it that more realistic look. Alright, and now we will add our final highlight, which is pure white on top of the nose or the head or whatever. Okay, now like I said, that brush is too big, but it still looks good. But always check your brushes. You don't want to be stuck with something because of your brush, okay? So always check your brushes. So I'm going to take some of that out, because I think I've got too much white up there for myself. Good. And then you go ahead and take all the paint off your brush and scrub that. Scrub it right into the shark. Good. So that gives it at least the 3 values, and then it makes it look more natural. Now what else can we do? Let me see. How about maybe this fin down here might be a little lit up a little bit. At least that way you'll be able to see it and see where it's to. So just put on some paint. Okay, you're dry brushing, so don't put too much paint on your brush. Small flat brush. Wipe it off if it's too much, and then scrub it in. Scrub, 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 scrub. Just so you can see that you got your three, you got dark and medium and light. If you make it too light, just go back in with some dark blue and put some more back in there. So you may have to go back and forth to get what you're looking for. That's okay. That's okay. See, when you're painting, trying to do it just once, it doesn't work sometimes. So you have to go back and forth and back and forth. But that's coming along pretty good. Alright. So let's put a little bit of white on a very light blue on a very small brush. And let's highlight here. Okay, that's not the right brush. Small flat brush that's nice and stiff so you can scrub it in. A little bit of white, a bit of blue. Wipe it off. We'll put a little bit of highlight on the back here. Good. And a little bit here. Just trying to pick out places where it could use a little bit of highlight. And then wipe off your brush in case it's too much on there, and then just scrub it in. Scrub it in, there we go. Scrub it in. That way you can see the tail better and the fins. You also take your other liner brush, the smaller, skinnier one, and put a bit of light blue on there. And just put a little highlight on these fins here. A little bit. And a little bit around the eye. Just so the eye will stand out more. See? See how those little highlights bring everything out? Good. Now let's try to put some teeth in this little guy. See now, how about we just put in some little streaks of white. So let's get some white on the tip of your very small thin liner brush and just make a couple of little teeth. A little streak here and a little streak there. There we go. Should do it. So you look at your reference photo and make sure that your teeth are good. Oh, cool teeth. Now, good.